Hi, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah channel. We thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. Our family is your family, and we love you guys very, very much. Eli thought we were going to do this. Maybe we should start like this. Hi, everybody. My family calls me Chuck.
I'm Ralph.
No. I don't remember. I don't remember the second.
You're Lurch.
Oh, okay.
And you. I don't know what's the next one.
Hurley.
But you can call him Hurl. And we are sick. We were very, very sick yesterday, and we had a first time in years that we were unable to actually function enough that we could put out a morning segment like this. And so, for those of you who missed us, that's where we were. And if you don't see us in the mornings, there's a tragedy or there's something happening at this place, because we did a vow a long time ago to Yah that we would always do this, that we would always make this happen. And so yesterday was the first day that we were unable to. And had we completed this vow, I don't know if we would have ever, I don't know so much we could have even got through it. So, how you guys doing?
Good.
How's your chest, Eli?
Feels really tight.
Really tight. Jade, how you doing?
Fine.
Headache?
A little bit.
Yeah, Cade, you're still on it. Yeah, we were all taken to school, and so this is what the school ride is. Everybody except Mom. Mom is the only one who so far has evaded this. And what's crazy is we live isolated out in the middle of a jungle, and we do not see people, and so we do not ever. We don't get around people, and so we're very, very rarely ever sick. And right before Shabbat, on a Friday before Shabbat. This old timer that used to live by us, he came down to get his branding iron that I had borrowed, and he brought us a little bag of potatoes too, which was really nice because we had zip. And so Cade shook his hand, Eli shook his hand, and basically 2 days after that, Cade went through Shabbat. The next day he was super, super sick. It took 2 days, and then yesterday morning, 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning, Eli was throwing up out the window, Jade was throwing up out the window around 4, and I was just giving it a good old chuck there, and it's rough, and so we're still a little bit under the weather, but we're far better than what we were, and so thank you guys very much. There was a couple of you guys that checked on us. We really appreciate that. We love you guys very, very much. Okay, so we are in the books of Aḍam and Eve, or Aḍam and Ḥawwah, as it is. Excuse me, and here we are. There's Mr. Cole messaging on Telegram right here. Okay, and so here we are right here, and I always forget to mark Telegram off, and so here we are. We'll probably end up with a bunch of stuff here. My apologies. Okay, so here we are. We're in chapter 3 of this, and this is called Concerning the Promises of the Great 5 days and a half. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Elohim said to Aḍam, I have ordained on this earth days and years, and thou and thy seed shall dwell and walk in it, until the days and years are fulfilled, when I shall send the word that created thee, and against which thou hast transgressed, the word that made thee come out of the garden, and that raised thee when thou wast fallen. Yea, the word that will again save thee, when the 5 days and a half are fulfilled. But when Aḍam heard these words from Elohim, and the great 5 days and a half, he did not understand the meaning of them. For Aḍam was thinking that there would be but 5 days and a half for him to the end of the world. And Aḍam wept and prayed Elohim to explain it to him. Then Elohim, in his mercy for Aḍam, who was made after his own image and similitude, explained to him that these were 5,500 years, and how one would come and save him and his seed. But Elohim had before that made this covenant with our father Aḍam in the same terms, ere he came out of the garden, when he was by the tree whereof Ḥawwah took the fruit and gave it to him to eat. Insomuch as when our father Aḍam came out of the garden, he passed by that tree, and saw how Elohim had changed the appearance of it into another form, and how it withered. Okay, we get a little stuff out of this.
It talks about Messiah coming down and saving his people, and it's about 5,500 years. So we can tell from Aḍam to this time it was 5,500 years.
Yeah, and I mean we're essentially, I mean there was we have 6,000. We know of 6,000 years. We know that there's going to be a millennial reign of 1,000 years, and so we are close to these times. We are very, very, very close to these times, and so this is something interesting that we should all probably take note of as well. Okay, and as Aḍam went to it, he feared, trembled, and fell down, but Elohim in his mercy lifted him up, and then made this covenant with him. And he's talking about when he was still in the garden. And again, when Aḍam was by the gate of the garden and saw the cherub with a sword of flashing fire in his hand, and the cherub grew angry and frowned at him, both Aḍam and Ḥawwah became afraid of him and thought he meant to put them to death. So they fell on their faces and trembled with fear. But he had pity on them and showed them mercy. And turning from them, went up to the Shamayim and prayed unto Yahuwah and said, Yahuwah, thou didst send me to watch the gate of the garden with a sword of fire. But when thy servants, Aḍam and Ḥawwah, saw me, they fell on their faces as were dead, and were as dead. O my Yahuwah, what shall we do to thy servants? Then Elohim had pity on them, and showed them mercy, and sent his angels to keep the garden. And the word of Yahuwah came unto Aḍam and Ḥawwah, and raised them up. And Yahuwah said to Aḍam, I told thee, at the end of 5 days and a half, I will send my word, and save thee. Strengthen thy heart, therefore, and abide in the cave of treasures, of which I have before spoken to thee. And when Aḍam heard this word from Elohim, he was comforted with that which Elohim had told him, for he had told him how he would save him. Okay, thoughts as I go to the next chapter?
We have like from the very beginning. There was always the prophecy of Yehoshua. Yehoshua was always there. We always had like salvation from the very beginning, even though they were sinning and they deserved punishment. Right? There was always like Yehoshua was always merciful enough to say, "Hey, I'm gonna save you guys. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. All right. This is the second chapter, the second and last. We'll only be doing 2 on these. And here we go. But Aḍam and Ḥawwah wept for having come out of the garden, their first abode. And indeed, when Aḍam looked at his flesh that it was altered, he wept bitterly, he and Ḥawwah, over what they had done. And they walked and went greatly down into the cave of treasures. And as they came to it, Aḍam wept over himself and said to Ḥawwah, Look at this cave, that is to be our prison in this world, and a place of punishment. What is it compared with the garden? What is its narrowness compared with the space of the other? What is this rock by the side of those groves? What is the gloom of this cavern compared with the light of the garden? What is this overhanging ledge of rock to shelter us compared with the mercy of Yahuwah that overshadowed us? What is the soil of this cave compared with the garden land? This earth strewed with stones, and that planted with delicious fruit trees? And Aḍam said to Ḥawwah, Look at thine eyes, look at mine, which before beheld messengers in the Shamayim praising, and they too without ceasing. But now we do not see as we did. Our eyes have become flesh. They cannot see in like manner as they saw before. Aḍam said again to Ḥawwah, What is our body today compared to what it was in the former days when we dwelt in the garden? After this, Aḍam did not like to enter the cave under the overhanging rock, nor would he have entered it. But he bowed to Elohim's orders and said to himself, Unless I enter the cave, I shall again be a transgressor.
So they had a lot. So whatever's in the garden, you must look a lot different. Like in your eyes and see things of heaven.
Yeah, and we learn later on. I don't spoil this, but too much. That they were able to see the messengers. They were able to talk to the messengers, and in this fallen state that they are in, they can no longer, that divide between.
They lost a lot coming out of the garden.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost their animals that used to talk to them. Their animals that used to be subjected to them. Now things are, it's a lot different, right? And the ground is different. Instead of the grass being soft and nice and lush and no weeds and things of that nature, there was issues, right? There's rocks and all of this crazy stuff out there that, and that's the thing, again, is when we read this, we have to understand that these guys were like infants that were born into a human body. And so they did not have, they went from paradise to what he would say as a prison, and he did not. He's not happy with it, and he's never really happy with the Cave of Treasures. But this is their home, right? And Yah gave them a home outside of there. And that's the first house they had. It was a cave, and so were there cavemen? It appears so, and it appears that Aḍam was it, but it doesn't appear as they were, like the movies and the pictures of the bumbling cave people that are like, and they don't rolling stones, and they just
walk around the clubs.
Yeah, walk around with clubs and things of that nature. That's not what they were, and so there looks like there were cave folks out there. So, all right, guys, these will keep these short and sweet, and we will just keep on rolling, and hopefully we don't keep on chucking, and we will see you guys another day. We love you guys very, very much. We hope that you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of this week. All right, shalom.
All right, shalom.